Thursday took the L, but tonight they bounced back. Bearcats look good headed into the conference tournament. We'll ask Terry Nelson how much noise he thinks they can make. Plus,
isn't like we're giving him something. This is something that he's earned.
Letting nothing stand in his way. A LaSalle Lancer basketball trainer is the heart of the team and got a chance to show it on the court. And things were looking up for Xavier at the end of February, but their last two performances may usher in some March sadness for their tournament hopes.
From WCPO 9 Sports, this is Sports of All Sorts.
What up? Welcome to Sports of All Sorts. I'm Reggie Wilson. Both crosstown teams wrapped up their regular seasons this weekend with hopes that it all doesn't end this upcoming week. Maybe more realistic hopes for one squad. We'll get into that in a bit, but we start on the diamond. Reds taking on the Giants in spring training action. Former Red Anthony DeSclafani pitching for San Fran now strikes out his former teammate Shogo Akiyama in his first spring training appearance. And Sean Doolittle making his Reds debut in Goodyear wishes he had a few pitches back. Gives up back-to-back home runs in his only inning of work. After the game, he said he had a mixed bag, super mixed bag, and it took him a while to settle in. But that's what spring training's for, right? Let's go to the second. Disco gets Jesse Winker to fly out to right, but Eugenio Suarez sporting a new goatee and a new frame down 15 pounds. Look at him show off the speed to slide in safe at home. But the Reds lose 9-4. Bearcats on the road taking on East Carolina to end the regular season. Let's go to the second half. UC turns up off the steal. Tari Eason throws it down, gives the Bearcats a 3-point lead. A couple minutes later, shot clock running out. Keith Williams from Steph Curry range. Splash. He's not done. 2-point game now. Williams, pull up. Stop playing with him. He scored 16, lead back to 5. But it's back to Eason. He's what we like to call an impact freshman. Emphasis on the impact. And one. He scored 7 but made all of them count. Mason Madsen had himself a day. Stop and pop from deep. Banger. Career high 19 points, caps a 12-0 Bearcats run. Then Jeremiah Davenport with the exclamation mark. He tied the team high with 19 points. Bearcats win handily, 82-69 to finish the regular season at 10-10.
To a man, I could point out how well they played, how tough they played, and how much they played for each other. And the thing I try to explain to them is when you do that, you look good. When you do that, it's good basketball. And I think that's what we saw tonight.
So UC will head to the AAC tournament in Texas as the 5 seed against SMU on Friday. Joining me to talk about his Bearcats is the Hall of Famer, Terry Nelson. Terry, what did you think of the Bearcats' performance today?
Well, a couple things. I thought they shot it extremely well. Season high, I believe, 12 3-pointers. They shot it well from the perimeter. But I attributed a lot of that to they were low in numbers. So they conserved energy and went zone. And he plays some 1-3-1 zone, and that's effective at times, especially with Mamadou at the top. But I really thought the 2-3 matchup zone, which allowed your 3 frontline players, Madsen would be one of those. You have either Chris Vogt or Tari, and then you have Jeremiah Davenport. Jeremiah Davenport and Madsen have a problem playing man-to-man defense against quicker guards because they have slower feet. So, but they can score. So you keep them out on the floor because they can outscore their opponent. But put them in the zone, allow them to guard a man in the area, not necessarily chase them all the way around, and then it helped with their rebounding because they weren't out of position. So it's easier to box out and identify when a guy's in your area opposed to you chasing him around. He beats you to the front on the box out, and you have no way to get around him. So I thought those things, the zone really helped your scores. And then on the other end, you're able to now knock down shots because they were fresh.
You mentioned Madsen. How about the growth of the young guys? How much promise do you see from this group?
Playing time is like water to a plant. You have a young team and they get playing time, they're going to grow. They're going to play through some of the mistakes. Coach Brandon is one of those coaches that just leaves you in the game, especially when your numbers are low. You get a chance to play through some of those mistakes, some of those growing pains. he keeps talking about from the beginning of the season that, man, these young core guys are going to be really, really good. And we saw him in certain games get blown out. We're like, man, I don't know what in the heck this guy's recruiting, what he's bringing over here. These guys, they're not going to make it on this level. But then you see him in other games, you're like, man, this is exactly what Coach was talking about. They shoot the ball, they space the floor, they play fearless, they compete, they can really knock down the long ball, which opens everything up for drivers like Keith Williams. If they can continue to do this throughout the season for the conference tournament, I mean, spreading the floor is one thing, but being able to spread the floor with a guy like Keith, who likes to attack the basket, especially particularly going left, passed the ball well today, 5 assists on the game, able to knife within those zones that they were playing, and some soft man, kick it out to the shooters. Davenport, Madsen lining them up. Both of them shot 9 threes today and connected on a good percentage of them.
Terry, what do you see the Bearcats doing in the AAC tournament?
Well, they are going to be a tough out because everybody they played, rather than Houston, I think they're chomping at the bit to get back at a Houston team that seems to be facing their stiffest competition as the season went on. They had to do a buzzer beater today to win from nearly half court. But they're starting to figure out how they're going to play. They're going to get, they're 2 point guards down in this game. So they're going to get a point guard back, and Mikey Saunders is going to get back. But you kind of know that you're a man-to-man team. Coach Brandon loves man-to-man. Occasional 1-3-1, but you also in your back pocket, you got this 2-3 zone that the matchup was really, really effective today, particularly against a team in East Carolina that just couldn't throw a rock into the ocean. But you're going to go out there, you're going to play defense, and from the defense, guys are in position, and UC likes to run when they get stops. So when they get stops, they get that thing out fast. If they don't turn it over trying to get an outlet, they will grab the ball and they will look. And they were exciting fast break. You saw the Madsen do the finger roll lob play to Eason, who dunked it in and gave that look like, oh boy, that's going to be on SportsCenter the rest of the day. That may be a top 10 right there. Dun-dun-dun. But they have that. They're going to be a tough out because if they shoot it well, they're going to defend. And if they shoot it well, it's going to be one of those things where, okay, you're going to have to try to outscore this team because this team is scrappy. They was diving on the floor for loose balls. They played with togetherness. I used to call it the Commonwealth on offense, where everybody shares in some of the blessings. 19 assists today looked impressive.
Terry, as always, I appreciate your insight. Thanks so much for taking the time. Well, Xavier went from looking like a lock to make it into the NCAA tournament to a big question mark. Coming up, we'll ask Steve Wolf what it's going to take to see the Musketeers do their March dance. X on the road at Marquette to end the regular season Saturday first half. Brian Griffin with the block. And when you make a play on one end, the senior leader rewards you on the other end. Paul Scruggs to Griffin. Dunk you very much. X trails by 8 at the half. Zach Fremantle goes scoreless in the first, emphatically on the board here. Xavier down 6. Scruggs trying to will the squad to madness, gets inside for the tough bucket. It's a 6-point game again. A little later, X down 3 now. CJ Wilcher says, I got us. Big time triple to tie the game. Musketeers down 3 again. Scruggs, bucket. Team high 18 points, but it's not enough. Marquette wins 66-59. X has some work to do in the Big East tournament.
I told our guys, I will roll with this team every day of the week. If we play with that amount of toughness and effort, we will get the results we want in New York City. And that's our whole thought process right now, right? Listen, it's all water under the bridge. The whole new season's about to start. And our goal is to go to New York City and win the Big East tournament.
All right, so Xavier heads to Madison Square Garden as the 7 seed, taking on Butler on Wednesday, who they swept in the regular season. My next guest is former Musketeer and CBS Sports college basketball analyst Steve Wolf. Steve, what's going wrong for X these last couple games?
Well, I've done a lot of games this year. I've talked to a lot of coaches, and the coaches that I talk to basically tell me that in this world of COVID, that it's a big change. It's a big adjustment, and it's a bigger adjustment for younger teams. Now, when I saw Xavier, who they ran out the starting lineup, I noticed there were 3 freshmen in that starting lineup. That's great for the future. But you got Carter, who's a fifth-year senior. You got Scruggs, or Carter didn't start, but Scruggs out there on the court with Fremantle, and then 3 freshmen. It's hard. And the problem is when you work in the pandemic era, you don't have full practices. So you have individual workouts. So it's tough to really get your defensive strategy set up. Okay. So working on defense as a team and as a unit, the shell drill and all that stuff, you don't do when you have the pandemic. And you can do it now and again, but when you have take 3 weeks off or take 2 weeks off, you have to do individual stuff. So it's great individually, but team-wise, they're struggling. And their defense has been a problem for me all year long. In addition, they're not shooting the ball like they did earlier in the year. They shot really well against Oklahoma. And early in the year, they were just knocking down 3 balls. They were pathetic yesterday. I think they were 4 for 24. So you can't shoot 16% behind the arc. And if you do, you better stop. Fremantle really didn't have a great game. You're getting inconsistent play. So in a nutshell, I don't have any answers other than the fact that I look at them and watch them, and they are consistently inconsistent. And it's tough to watch for me. I feel for Travis Steele because he's going to have to find a way to get these guys going to win at least 2 games in the tournament. And they're going to probably play Butler and then maybe Creighton. So, it's going to be a long road.
It's all about surviving and advancing now. How do you like the Musketeers' chances to make a run and make it into the dance?
So once again, you're playing, if you're going to start the three freshmen, they've never been to an NCAA tournament. They've never been to a postseason tournament like this, a Big East tournament. They're playing, in the Big Apple. It's going to be a big deal. So I don't feel great about it. But they've been able to compete with Butler in the past. And obviously they just beat Creighton. They're going to have to shoot the ball better. Fremantle's going to have to put the 3 ball away. I'm not good on that. He only shot 3 last night, but I love him in the post. He's a second team All Big East player. I really think that they got to get him involved in the ball game a lot more. Obviously he was double teamed last night. Wasn't able to throw out of the double team. That's something you can work on the next time you do play a team like Marquette that's going to double the post. But, I like what Wilshire's doing. I think he gives them energy off, coming in there in the starting lineup. But, when you got 3 freshmen starting, there's problems. We'll see what happens with Jason Carter. He didn't start the game, got hurt with his ankle, but he's a guy that's got to give you, 4 or 6 points along with all the other things he does. People don't see this. They say, why is he in the lineup? Well, he's a good distributor of the ball. He passes out of double teams. He sets good picks. He plays good defense. It'll get you some rebounds. He's very much a role player, but he's got to get you some points. You can't go 2 games back-to-back without points from that position.
Steve, always a pleasure. We'll catch up soon. Take care.
Hey, it's all about runs. It's all about runs, and you never know. I'm hoping for the best. I love my Muskies. But it's a different year. I just hope they can pull one out.
So I want to hear from you, and it's a simple question. If Xavier doesn't win another game before Selection Sunday, are they in the NCAA tournament? Tweet me at Reggie Wilson TV and make sure to use the hashtag SOAS. He's been the heart of the LaSalle basketball team all season, but had never taken a shot. When he did, he made the most of it. The inspiring moment that coaches, players, and fans say didn't surprise them at all. Welcome back. LaSalle's season ended yesterday with a loss to Elder in the playoffs. But when these 2 teams played in February, a Lancer senior got the opportunity of a lifetime. After 4 years of watching from the sideline, never being able to play himself, he got 1 shot. Caleb No takes us to that special moment.
This is not a story about any physical limitation or condition.
It ticks me off when people don't care, because I know that they can do better than that.
And it's not a story about a young man overcoming any challenge.
Make sure them guys are getting it right.
None of that is what defines Gavin Rupert.
Caring, Gavin's all about that. And everything that he talks about is opportunity.
You can find him at practice.
Yeah, he got some D1 offers, I know that.
And games.
With him becoming the student, I hate calling student manager. He's one of our guys. He's on the team.
Come on, hey,
But Gavin never got to be the one to put on the jersey himself. That is, until one game this month.
It was definitely surreal. I never expected this opportunity.
That is what this story is about, opportunity.
He's earned this opportunity. Isn't like we're giving him something. This is something that he's earned.
Thursday, when I was walking out of school, Coach called me, said, stop by the trainer's room. He gave me a jersey and said, get out there and start practicing.
And you did?
Yes.
He practiced over and over. The exact shot. He made some and missed some. But when his opportunity came,
Scale on 3. 1, 2, 3, together.
You bet Gavin was prepared.
Oh, I had butterflies in my stomach, I'll tell you what about that.
He was a starter in LaSalle's game at Elder. And as soon as the ball was tipped,
It's basically a game of angles, and I just hit it at the right spot.
that's when all the practice paid off.
It felt like a sense of relief that I made a first try.
Gavin is not defined by what some might think would hold him back.
I think it's a no. I was highly capable of doing much more, and look where I am today.
4 years of hard work earned Gavin one shot.
He can go down in history as like, I got 2 points and I'm 1 for 1 and I'm 100%. Nobody else has done that in the history of LaSalle High School. I can guarantee you that.
One shot is all it took. In Cincinnati, Caleb No, WCPO 9 Sports.
Love that. Love it. Love it. You just heard my next guest. Our guy Caleb No joins the show. Caleb, thanks for hanging out. It was a cool moment. What made you pursue this story further?
Yeah, we heard that they were going to be doing this at LaSalle. We didn't know a whole lot more about it, but we figured that there was probably a story there. But I think it became even more interesting when I kind of got to know Gavin. I talked to his family a little bit, talked to the coaches a little bit. I think the most important line in that story, and I think there were a lot of good quotes and good sound from Gavin and Coach Godey, but I think the most important one was when the coach said, Coach Pat Godey at LaSalle said, this is not something that we are giving him. We didn't give him this. This is not like a thing that we're doing for show to make anybody feel good. This is something that he has earned by being there every single day, by being at practice, by being at the games. He was with the football team for 4 years, and he was with the basketball team just his senior year. So I think that was the most important thing to take from this, though, is that this was not for show. This was something that Gavin had legitimately earned, and they were allowing him to take advantage of that, and he did.
You're a former athlete, and you know how important team managers are. How cool is it to see them have moments like that from a player perspective?
Yeah, I think you said it there, that he has a special bond with this team. I mean, I was there at their practice, and you could see, I was there, I was shooting video at their practice, and you could see him interacting with the other players. And you could everybody knew who Gavin was. You could tell what kind of special bond there is between him and the other athletes at the school and everything. And he's going to go on and be a manager in college as well at Mount St. Joseph here in Cincinnati. But yeah, obviously, and you heard the coach say in the story, you heard him say, we call him a student manager, but he's a part of the team. And you saw him in the video with the jersey and everything. He'll go down in LaSalle history as having 2 points and being 1 for 1 from the field. He is as much a part of that basketball program as anybody else has been ever. And I think you could add football into that too, because again, he did football for 4 years.
Caleb, be well, and thanks again for taking the time. All right, we'll be right back to wrap up the show. Well, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun, but we got to go. I'd like to thank my guests Terry Nelson, Steve Wolf, and Caleb No for joining me tonight. And thank you to my village who helped me put this all together. Thank you for watching. Let's do it again next Sunday. Until then, have a good night and a very blessed week.